Alright, what's up YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV in a heavily anticipated rematch between the two teams with the two best records in the NBA, the Los Angeles Lakers and Milwaukee Bucks. The Lakers at Staples Center were able to defeat the Bucks by the final score of 113 to 103. They improved their overall record to 48-13 on the year, while the Bucks fall to 53-10. So now it's impossible for the Bucks to tie the 2016 Warriors for the best record ever. And it's pretty much unlikely that they're going to run the table the rest of the way and tie the 96 Bulls. They could still win 70 games, but they would have to go 17-2 the rest of the way, which I'm not certain they're going to do. I don't think they're going to go 17-2. But I do think they have a great shot at breaking the franchise record for most wins in the regular season, which would be 66 by the 1970-71 Milwaukee Bucks, who won the championship that year. Now, earlier on, the Bucks established control of this game, uh, although it was kind of sloppy early on as far as with missed shots, in particular missed outside threes and whatnot. But when it looked like the Bucks were about to like take control of this game and seize it and make it something like a 15-point victory, the Lakers got back in control of this game. They got back into the game, and then ultimately they took control of this game. LeBron James was big factor in that comeback. The Lakers seized control of the game for the most part. Giannis, as he's been accustomed to do the whole fucking season, tried to get his team back into the game, but ultimately they fell short. Anthony Davis had a big second half. And like I said, Lakers won by 10. LeBron James had 37 points to go along with 8 rebounds and 8 assists. Anthony Davis had 30 points and 9 rebounds. Giannis Antetokounmpo had 32 points, 11 rebounds, and 6 assists. Chris Middleton, as he's been accustomed to do oftentimes in these crucial games, did not show up and only had 12 points. I'm going to say this, though. I noticed that the mainstream media, the media, right? Now, I get that when you start going down to the end of the regular season, these games kind of have a little bit more of a microscope on them. Okay, I get it. But sometimes they act like the other game didn't even happen. Like the first game at Milwaukee, where Giannis put on a show. They act like that game didn't happen. I remember I think that was during the Bucks. That might have been when the Bucks were going through their streak, or right after. It might have been right after the streak. But I remember someone said something. You know, I mean, it means something, you know. But really, you got to remember the Lakers. They played like 4 games in the last 7 nights. You know, they're tired. You know, this game doesn't really mean anything. Okay, but this game, they're saying this proves that LeBron's the MVP. I'm just saying, you know, does it move the needle a little bit? Yeah. You know, they're 1-1 in the season series. I mean, if you're going by the season series, maybe Kawhi's the league MVP. The Lakers have yet to beat the Clippers. I'm just saying, you know, I still think, in my opinion at least, that Giannis is the league MVP because Giannis doesn't have another superstar on his team like LeBron does. Okay, LeBron has Anthony Davis. I don't care what the media likes to spin. He don't have another fucking superstar on his team. Okay, in fact, what Giannis is doing is more impressive than what LeBron did when he was playing in Cleveland all those years because the conference was weaker back then. Okay, and LeBron's teams were never on pace to win 70 fucking games. In fact, Giannis is kind of in the same position that LeBron was in those Cleveland days. I'm talking about the first stint. He was a spectacular singular player surrounded by not necessarily bums, but players that are solid, but he was lacking that extra guy. He needed an extra guy. Okay, and that's why he constantly came up short, no matter how much he tried to provide on the court and put it all out there. And Giannis, to me, I mean, if you go by PER and you go by, you know, what he's been doing this year and the last couple of years, um, you can make the argument that Giannis is projected to be, if his health stands up, Giannis could be easily a top 10 to 15 player. Easy, when everything's said and done. So he's in that stratosphere with a LeBron, a Kevin Durant, that level player. But I think he's in the same position, man. I was hoping that Chris Middleton and Eric Bledsoe and these guys would come together, man, and play at a higher level. But at the end of the day, um, my hopes that this team can win a championship are diminishing. Um, because Giannis has to do too much, and Giannis has too much responsibility, and he doesn't really have anybody that can offset when he's not having a tremendous game. Um, like Anthony Davis had 30, Giannis had 32. Um, they pretty much cancel each other out. Okay. The problem is Middleton had 12. Middleton had 12. Bledsoe didn't really do much. Davis had 30. Giannis needs someone else on that team. Okay, that can be an X factor. Now, Chris Paul's name's been brought up a lot. Okay, I get that. I've always said I thought that a perfect player for this team would be Russell Westbrook. That's not going to happen. But Eric Bledsoe is not the answer, man. Eric Bledsoe is not the answer. Um, Giannis needs help. I'm totally convinced of that now. Like I was hoping that because Chris Middleton, you just can't depend on this guy, man. Way too many times I've seen Chris Middleton choke when he's going up against the top tier and the higher upper echelon teams. Unless it's like a blowout, it's not a highly pressurized situation, then he might get 25 garbage points or something, man. And I'm not saying that he hasn't had some good performances. He's having a career year as far as numbers is concerned. But when it comes to stepping up and performing when the team needs him, he tends to choke. You know what I'm saying? And Giannis just has too much responsibility. And like, ultimately, this is the thing: if the Milwaukee Bucks want to keep Giannis, okay, if they fail to win a championship this year, especially if they even fail to make the NBA Finals again, they're going to have to make some type of drastic moves. They're going to have to go for something. Giannis is going to need another superstar playing along him now. I'm convinced of it now. I still think he's the MVP, like I said, because of what he's doing by himself. Well, not by himself, but when you compare to other teams out there, they have another guy. They have other guys out there. It's just Giannis. I believe if Giannis had another superstar caliber player with him, the Bucks would probably go fucking like 78-4 or 75-7 or some shit like that. I mean, they would just be blasting the Eastern Conference. But you know, I'm starting to think that the media, I'm saying, they really want to push this narrative about LeBron being the GOAT. And if I'm the Clippers on Sunday, you know what I'm saying, you got to come all out. You got to go all out and keep that psychological edge against this team. Um, because, you know, I got to give it to LeBron, though, man. He's playing at a level that I wasn't expecting him to play at this year. And he is playing at an MVP level. I just think, personally, I would give it to Giannis at this particular point. Still. Um, LeBron has a case, but I would still give it to Giannis at this particular match. And I'm gonna say this too about as far as like if the rematch means more than the first game. I remember in 1998, Utah beat Chicago both games. I don't think Jordan played particularly well either game. Um, but the league MVP still went to Michael Jordan. Um, it wasn't his best statistical season, but the fact that Scottie Pippen had missed so many games and he still was able to carry the load for the team, even if the wins were ugly, the fact that he was able to carry the team in half the games, it was just him, essentially. Uh, and they were still able, like I said, to win 62 games. That was the reason why the league gave it to Jordan that year. Giannis is having an even better season, an even more dominant season than he had last year. The Bucks are on a pace to break the franchise record for wins. And if I remember correctly, those years when LeBron was with Cleveland and they won 60 games, I think he won the MVP those years. Okay, even though he had been falling short in the playoffs the year prior. Essentially because LeBron, the argument then was LeBron is doing so much with so little around him. But yet the media forgets that argument for LeBron 10 years later and acting like, once again, they have the same argument, but they forget that Anthony Davis is there, who really should be an MVP caliber candidate his damn self. But he's not with the media. So anyway, that's all I got to say. Tell me what you guys think.